you
Good
doing?
afternoon. I've been doing great. And how about you?
I am doing well as well. And how was your Diwali? How was everything?
Everything was nice and safe and sound. And how was
Okay.
yours?
Mine was pretty relaxing. Nothing special happened. I just went to a book fair, got a lot of classics. So that was the highlight.
Okay.
Shall we begin with the session's topic? Any doubt, any confusion before that?
No, we shall not.
Okay. So before the main topic, there are two extemporaries today. Let's try to cover them. First
Right.
one is asking a question. Is work life balance a myth? Or what do you think about that?
Uh, Not at all. I mean, there should be a work-life balance, and everyone should have this in their life. Because if someone is unable to have a balance between their life and work, which is general in our country, like most of people are working and they are working only for the sake of earning money, even if
Mm-hmm.
they are unable to they do not like their work, but they have no other option. So all they have to do is their work, and since they are only working and they are unable to enjoy their life, so that is very precarious thing for anybody. And we need to change that. And of course, that like time has passed, passed by, and the new trend, whatever we are able to see, that the new generation, they are more focused towards enjoying the life along with their work experience as well. So for all of them, like this topic is meant a lot. Like they have to find some or the other way of balancing their life and their work.
Mm-hmm. That's true. So you feel that it is very important that people are not too consumed in their work. It is important
Yeah,
for take out some time for their own pleasure, for their own fun. That's
of
true.
course, of course.
Okay. Do you feel you maintain a work-life balance? You do not get too consumed in studies?
Uh, Till now, I have been doing some part-time job, like taking tuitions and all. So I don't think I have ever come across the situation of balancing it. By now, everything is going pretty well. But I think that the moment I start a full-time job, of course, I will have to look forward to make a balance between my work and life for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's true. It's easy to maintain life with part-time jobs or part-time
Yeah,
profession.
right.
That's all right then. Now let's try to come to the second topic. It is saying that academic scores are not a good measure of intelligence.
Yeah,
What do
of
you?
course. I mean, this is the thing that we have been talking a lot since years. And the main thing we talk about this when we say that we need to change our education system, because this only creates an environment of mugging up things. Like no matter which exam you take, the process of appearing in that exam or clearing that exam, the process that has been designed, it all promotes a student to mug up things. Just if you are unable to understand, go for rote learning, and somehow you score. So all is dependent on how much score uh, you can you score, how much you can score and all. So it has been designed in that way. So we discussed a lot about this, and of course, like it is not possible for everyone that if you are scoring well, that it simply means that you are the best in that field. For example, there are so many subjects which do not even require that marks things. For example, literature. When we take literature, somebody can score 90 plus after mugging up, but he or she cannot be good in understanding those psychology behind that. So that is one thing. So marks is always not a good measure to think whether someone is good at the subject or not. It's
Hmm.
always about the core ability, whatever they have learned. whether they would be able to apply that in real life or not. So that should be the measure and not the mark.
That's true. Your knowledge, your ability to understand, to comprehend, to fathom everything that is taught, that is more important than the numbers, that 90 and 99 out of 100. That's true. How has it been for you? Do you think there was a subject which you loved, which you were good at, but you never scored good marks in it?
So, when it comes to me, like I might have told you earlier as well, that I had never been into studies. I was never interested in that, even as a kid, or even after when I started focusing on studies. I could never become that advanced level learners as well. So it was never even my thing, or I never think that way that okay, I have to score 99. All I used to do that whatever I can learn, let me go through this if I would be able to use it in my real life or not. For example, later when I started, when I chose the stream of commerce, so all focus was whether I would be able to make utilization of whatever I'm reading in my real life or not. I never went after the marks, and of course, I was not. I was above average maybe, so around 70% holder I had
Mm-hmm. All
during
right.
my class days.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So for you, academics were never the highlight, they were never the focus. So
Yeah,
scoring marks or getting marks in any subject was not the priority. Never
yeah, of
ever.
course.
Makes sense.
And on this point, I would like to ask about you, how it has been for you, and how did you get that interest in literature and started? I mean, how did you start thinking that okay, I can write a book as well? How that journey started and how you become an author?
I got your point. The academic part of your question, I think I've always thrived on academic excellence. So that was something I
Okay.
always did because you get a
Yeah.
lot of appreciation, right? That wow, you scored the highest or you're the topper. So I
Right.
always
Right.
got good marks because of that. Coming to the writing part of it, it helps when you are already good at English. So what used to happen that in my answers in school, everyone every time the teachers would appreciate that these are good answers.
Right.
Then the kids around
Yeah.
you would appreciate. So the external motivation automatically tells you that you're good at it and you should write more. So for
Yeah.
me,
Right.
external motivation was the main reason. Yeah. How has it
Yeah.
been for you? Have you received internal motivation or external motivation?
Yeah. Sometimes I have, like I said, that in the later half of my academics, when I started focusing on studies, so sometimes I have been appreciated for my skills, especially in mathematics. And when I was in +2, I remember that my English teacher used to tell me that Raj, don't underestimate yourself. You have good power, and whenever you write, I mean, you start well, but after that, you somewhere get lost. So you have to work on that. But overall, it was an average. And of course, when it comes to appreciation part, I think that whatever I have tried to do, I have got appreciation in every one of them, and that has been my motivation. That okay, even after not being pretty good or excellent in something, when I try to work hard on something, I do get appreciation. It means that I have the capacity or I can do something in this. So that kind of situation I had been in.
Exactly. Sometimes I feel another factor comes in. Sometimes people appreciate you even when you're not doing too good. Like my grandfather used to do it. Even if I'm doing normal things, he will make a big deal out of it as if I'm the best person on this planet. That also
Yeah,
builds a lot of confidence. You get
of course.
confident for no reason at all. Did you have any personal cheerleader like that in your life? Just liked
Uh,
everything you did. Whatever you
no,
touched
no,
was gold. Nothing like that.
no, nothing like that.
All right. Well, I'll tell you that's the only positive thing that you feel super confident. There's no chance of self doubt to enter. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's come to the main topic of the session, which is about fairy tales, cartoons, childhood myths. Now, have you
yeah.
read a lot of fairy tales? Any popular fairy tale that you're aware of?
Uh, I have not been into studies as my kid, so I have never been to reading and all. And if I like try to recall something, so my grandmother used to tell some stories, but I simply cannot recall the stories or the plot of the stories at all. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was there only. And apart from that, like even when I was 5 or 6, I had started playing cricket. So all that I can recollect if how my childhood was. So in field playing cricket, and then at home doing some other stuff and playing the hide and seek and all, or the board games even.
All right. So fairy tales are not something you were very interested in. All the storybooks, they were never your part of the deal. But yeah, you have heard some childhood lullabies from your grand.
And yes, of course, like if I can recollect the name, there was a Chacha Chaudhary, that Chacha Chaudhary. Yeah,
It was, I think it was a magazine, if I'm not wrong.
yeah, of course, my friend.
Series of magazines. Yes, yes. So yeah, you have read all these kind of books. I think Champak was also there. All these
Yeah,
books are
Champak,
very popular.
Champak and Chacha Chaudhary.
Exactly. Any one fairy tale or any one childhood story that you remember? Anything that is still stuck in the back of your mind?
I can't recollect any of that.
None of them
And
are clear.
no, no.
Let me.
All I mean, if I have to explain something like that, I would say uh, if I talk about my childhood, of course. So all that I can recollect about my childhood is watching matches. Even it's about even 1999 maybe, the 1999 World Cup, and we used to stay in a place which was almost like a village. So I can remember that the match against India and Pakistan, we were watching in an open space nearby our house, and almost 15 or 16 families together. So that is the one thing that is stuck in my mind still.
Did we win the match or we lost it?
Yeah, we had one. In
All right.
fact, this is the record of India Pakistan matches that in a 50 over World Cup, uh, India has never lost to Pakistan. And even, I mean, in 20 over matches, even in 20 over World Cup as well. But we have lost to them once in 13 or 14 games.
All
But when
right.
it comes to the bilateral series of 1999, that is also that was stuck in my mind that we generally used to lose against Pakistan, the Sharjah matches.
All right. So there's a lot of record-breaking matches that you've seen, and you got the chance to witness it live. So I think that matters.
Yeah, of course.
All right then. Now, why do you feel we tell kids these kind of fairy tales and false lies like Santa Claus exists or Tooth Fairy exists? Why do we lie to kids?
Okay, on this part, if I can remember, I mean, if I can recollect, we used to tell, we used to be told that okay, have your breakfast, just finish it. If you don't eat, uh,
Yeah.
some bogeyman will come, or they will take you. We would not be able to find you again. You would not be able to enjoy with us and all that. So yes, like when nowadays what we do or what generally parents are doing, if they have to uh, if they have to make sure that their kids eat well, they just give them the mobile phone, or like the cartoon they play on Android TV or whatever it is, and like the kids used to do that. But in our time, these facilities were not there, so we used to be told all this kind of stuff so that we could follow the instructions of our parents or guardians.
Hmm.
And
True.
what about your story on this
Hmm.
part?
For me, I think. Are you asking about these fairy tales
Yeah,
or food story?
yeah. I mean, both.
Both.
How's your childhood has been?
Yeah. I think I know all the stories which we have seen the movies of, like Cinderella, Red Riding Hood, Snow White.
Okay.
These are the
Yeah,
stories I came across. The stories that my grandma told were very unique. I don't think I've read them anywhere. Like there would be a
yeah,
story of the entire lifespan of the cat. Like what is the cat doing? She's going from house to house. So I don't
yeah.
remember.
Right.
Yeah, these are all precious stories. The only reason I can think of why they tell is just to expand the creative side of the kid so that the kid gets to be more and more creative. Otherwise, all kids would be logical. We won't have romantics and creative people.
Yeah,
Uh,
right, right.
yeah, makes sense. Which side do you lean on? Would you say you're more logical or you're more of the romantic kind?
Uh, I, uh, I mean, a mixture of both.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, because logic. When it comes to logic, of course, I am on that part, but sometimes I feel the other way as
Okay. So it's a mix of both. You cannot
well.
say that you're more of a romantic or more of a logical person. We can call them romantics and realists. I guess these are the two kinds.
Yeah. Okay.
Romantics are
Yeah.
fantasize, and realists only focus on the reality, nothing else. All right then.
Yeah. Right.
Yes, now coming back to cartoons, did you ever get to watch some cartoons in your childhood or nothing at all?
Of course, I remember like there was a name the Taram tool. Have you watched?
No,
It
no, no.
used to come on like DD Metro, DD either DD National or DD Metro, because that was the time of these two channels only.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I mean came in the later half of my teenage, only
Mm-hmm.
at that time the disc was very popular in our locality. By the
Mm-hmm.
time I was just 10 or 12, we used to watch only these two channels. So there
Mm-hmm.
was I mean, a serial called Taram 2, and it was, yeah, it was like a cartoon. Of course. And I remember, like, I used to sometimes after the school, I used to leave the school and I used to run for this cartoon. Like, I have to reach, because the timing was the same. Like, the cartoon starts at 4 and the school ends at 4. So I had to
Mm-hmm.
rush to my home.
Okay. Do you remember briefly what the cartoon was about?
Uh, it's like it was like I, I mean a man in how to say, a man dressed in some animal kind of uh, dresses,
Mm-hmm.
and it was all about that.
Okay, okay. So humans dressed as animals, the entire show
Yeah,
was based on that concept. So was it
yeah.
like a comedy or some motivational stuff for kids? What was the theme?
Oh, I don't remember the thing. I only can recollect that character and their dresses.
Right, right. You were too young to make any
Yeah,
sense. You just watched it. You
and
enjoyed.
of course, like I mean, I used to watch it for uh, not that regular, but for some times, because most of the time, even at that age when the matches were going on, so I used to watch match. And
Okay.
sometimes if the like there was field, and that we used to play only for 3 or 4 months, because the other months the fields used to be ploughed and used for the farming.
Mhm.
So playing cricket in field was only a phenomena for 2 or 3 months. So I used to do that as well.
All right then. So your schedule as a 10-year-old was also jam-packed, not a lot of time for cartoon and
Right,
stuff.
right.
Makes sense. All right then. Okay, coming back to the myths of it, do you remember any myth or warning that you were given as a kid that don't lie? Like I think there's that phrase in Hindi where the thief will have something in his beard. So were you told any lies and warnings like that?
No, like the one I can recall, it's all about that if you are doing anything wrong, the police will uh, catch you, or even the thief will come and catch you, and something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the other stories that were not told to me, but when my mothers and other family members used to talk among them, so that is something that I can recollect. And now I like, if I think that all this were bullshit. Like, if you remember, I had explained you in that other session about witchcraft and
Yeah.
exorcism. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
all those stuff were used to be talked a lot in that
Mm-hmm.
time.
All right then. So this was their belief. They were not even
Yeah,
lying. They genuinely believed in all of it.
yeah. Of course, they believed in it. Or maybe
Mm,
sometimes they used to do it only for creating a scene and
yeah.
creating like something is going on. Let's start and let's enjoy.
Mm. That's true. Sometimes people like gossip, chaos.
Yeah,
They cannot stay peaceful for long. I've noticed that. Surely, surely. Okay. Let's discuss one last thing related to the topic. So there's a concept of happily ever after in all the storybooks, like Cinderella, Snow White. What do you think
yeah.
about
Of
it?
course.
Do you think that's
Uh,
true?
I think when we are telling the stories to children, of course, this phenomena is good. We should always maintain this, because the kids are meant to be told stories in that way, that okay, something is going to be good. But when they are growing up, or like, we need to tell them the reality as well, that it's not that everything will become good on its own. You have to put effort.
Mm-hmm. That's true. We see that the story ends when everything bad is over, but to
Yeah,
make the good last forever, it requires constant efforts.
right.
Makes sense. All right, then. This is it for this topic. Let's practice a couple of extemporaries if we can.
Yeah, of
Shall
course.
Okay. Let's start with a very simple one. This is talking about genius. Many people believe that geniuses are made, not born. Do you agree with that belief?
Yeah, of course, I agree. I mean, I cannot agree more on this, because nothing, nothing is there that we have qualities by birth. Or we can have some or the other, but at the same time, we will have to groom that. Otherwise, that would go useless. We would not
Mm-hmm.
be able to utilize that uh, for better or for highest cause, if I say. So, of course, when it comes to making out of something, then of course, if we are focusing on these things, we can make anybody anything. It's all about I mean, from the person who is being trained, that the kind of efforts he or she is putting in. If they follow all the instructions and they put it in right direction, of course, they will uh, do wonders.
Mm-hmm. That's true. You feel that even though we are born with our own set of qualities, genius is something that you can become if you put your capabilities and potential in the right
Yes,
direction.
of course. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I mean, if I have to put an example here, if you must have heard Kishore Kumar, and we say that he was born with all the talent. Of course, he was born, but when he got his first chance, from there onwards, look at the improvement. And of course, he has done all those hard work that made him the greatest Kishore Kumar from the uh, like Abha Kumar Pongli, if I correctly remember his name, real name.
Oh, okay. Do you know why he changed his name? Any reason?
It was changed only because in the when he got into industry, so he was suggested by the I mean the music director that if you can change it, so do it, and he changed that.
All right. It happens. I think many actors also changed, like Kiara Advani. Her name was also Alia. So many
Okay.
times, due to some reasons, they change it. That's true. Would you like to change your name? You would like to have another one?
Uh,
Or you're
uh,
happy with Raj?
I'm happy with this one. Like Raj, naam to suna hi hai.
Okay. I
This is
thought that
famous
was for
one.
Rahul. Was it for
Yeah.
Rahul or Raj? This
Uh,
dialogue. I think it was for Rahul. Not sure.
oh,
No, I'll wrap up this
leave it.
session. Grammar wise, excellent session. Sentence structures were good. Let's try to upgrade our vocabulary now. Try
Yeah,
to use
right.
as many adjectives as you can. Read as much as you can. Any new word that you learn, please try to use it in the dictionary. One concept that I love about English is analogies. Try to use as many analogies as you can while talking. It really helps you in becoming a better speaker. That's
Okay.
the
Yeah,
only suggestion
of
I
course.
wanted to give. Have a wonderful day ahead. Take care. Bye bye.
Likewise, likewise.
Thank
Bye.
you.
See you.